yesterday evening and a very light rain, and I wanted to show you what happened what happened for that. So you can see it the next day. There's a wet patch in the little pit swale. You can see that it's still wet and muddy, and that's showing me that this does matter. It does matter. So here's another one where you can see, and there's even like detritus starting to gather, just little bits of it, but that's really good. So there's moisture in mud. Same thing with this one. There's moisture, and that's so cool. So that's going to help hydrate this land little by little. I need to get a lot more of these in, but what I was able to get in, you can see this one, it's reflecting in the sunlight, how much moisture is in there. So you can see how the rest of the soil around has dried out significantly more than that which was in the swale. That is so, so cool. I'm so glad to see that that's actually working. It's not just theoretical. So I also want to show you what's happening in the swale I did along the road. You can see that the patches where there's a slightly lower spot, which basically creates in essence a swale, there's a lot of moisture still there. That's really awesome. And then look over here. So you can see the pattern. This is where moisture is collecting, and it's totally a lot more, it's mud. So heck yeah, man. That's really good. And I have a lot more work to do, obviously, but this is so glorious. Very, very pleased to see that this is working. So even these areas, you can see how the deeper it is, the more it's mud. And you can see kind of over here, it's a dark mud. It's like holding moisture. Excellent. Maniacal permaculture. So it is 1 p.m. It's after 1 p.m. and look, there is still moisture. It's still muddy. That's amazing. We didn't even really get that much precipitation. It was just like a light, not even a drizzle. And then there was a hailstorm, but look, all that water like actually made it into this swale, and it's still wet and muddy. And you can see up that way that those patches that are white, kind of like a whiter color, those are where the water had collected kind of in like little, like going this way. I'm going to actually do some like weirs or berms or something to kind of like allow there to be actual little, like more when there's a lot of water coming, but like it's just pretty impressive that this is still moist. And like even this little patch here, it's just amazing. It's awesome. And there's a little blue butterfly attracted to the moisture. Heck yeah. So this is some water loss from just this little hailstorm we had. I lost water off my property because of that. And you can see the pattern of loss. So had I finished at least my base berm at the bottom of my property, then I wouldn't have lost that. So it's really telling. Look at that. That's really impressive. So these swales really do work out here. I mean, I knew they would, but because they have to, right? But I wasn't sure how they would work, and this is really great to see this. I mean, this is really desertified. Poor things, all these plants. They're just hanging in there by their bare thread of life, but with some earthworks, man, I can really, I think, help them and then get more in the ground. So this is very, very, very exciting. You can see where the runoff was stopped. And look at it. It's still totally muddy. That's a big patch of mud. Look at it. It's like seeped up the edges of that berm. That's really, heck yeah. I know, I'm very excited, but just to see it actually working is really, it just makes my heart very full. Here's one of my check dams. So the water's pooling in the swale. And it's pooling in the second one. That's awesome. It's a lot less water going downstream from that, so it's having a chance to chill. And you can see the tributaries. Unfortunately, a lot of these pearls blew down in the wind, so getting them out is not going to be easy. I'll probably just leave them. But you can see the second one, same thing's happening. There's water pooling, and then all these tributaries. I'm getting all covered in mud. My boots are getting covered in mud. So anywhere I've placed anything, it's kind of helping water to pool, so that's cool. And then there's my first gabion. There's another one there. It's not done yet, but you can see that it's working. So yeah, it's allowing water to slow down a little bit while still releasing water. This is amazing. This is why I bought this property. This is the first big rain we've had that water's actually being sent down through all the wash channels. You can see I haven't done any work on this, so it's just freely flowing through. I just haven't gotten to it. That's what the flags are. There's, my plan to get some things in the ground as far as gabions and whatnot. I hope I'm not attracting lightning with my umbrella. There's a really amazing thunder happening. Even in this natural one. I'm slowing it down. And over here, a piece of cardboard blew into it. Whoa, slipping down. Probably should go back inside. This is kind of not very safe, but I wanted to come check it out. Woo. Woo. So this is where all my water is getting lost, is down through this gully. So this is a really, oh wow, this one's working too. So I can see where the failure point is, obviously over at the end there. Just not having really been able to really see the water when I made this, but it definitely is doing something. That's really good to see. And then my little pit swales, they're obviously doing something. So this tiny little stream here is filling this up and capturing that water. And it's pooling. So excellent. There's almost like a pond there. And you can see the overflow. So it's a place where I didn't realize where it would be lost. So this is great because I can observe and improve. So this one, it's bypassed it completely. Here's my little miniature gabion, which is making a difference. And then this was just for that plant, which did die. It was one of the saltbush. But I could be modifying this to capture this flow. And all the flow is going down. And this is where it's really interesting. I think I'm going to have a breach here. It's going to be an overflow spill. It's going to create a natural spillover. But this is my swale along the bottom of the property. This is holding all that water in. And this is really it rained last night. It rained this morning and it's raining now, obviously. But that swale is doing an amazing job. And unfortunately, I did not finish my earthworks. But still, just what I did is doing an amazing. I mean, I would have lost, look at all the water I would have lost off the property. So this is the main gully over here. And let's see if I can cross this. So there's a lot of water that's probably flowing off the property right over there. I don't know if I can do it. Woo! Because I have an opening there. I didn't finish doing the bottom swale. So yeah, this is the big loss point now. It's really sad to see. It's all going to water that big green patch over there that's green year-round, precisely because all my water is going over there. So I think in the next couple days when this dries out, what I'll do is come in and do some work to finish this, to stop these holes, because actually this is a low point, and I can see outlets over there, but this is the big one. So it's sad that I didn't get this done, but look at this. Woo. This is awesome. So this is where the main outlet had been, and I blocked it. And now, you know, this is just a road puddle, but that's what's happening. And then that's what I'm losing. And actually, yeah, that is the main outlet now. That's the low point too. So if I can stop that up, I can save all that water. Yeah. And then there's a lot of other earthworks I want to do upland, as I've said before in previous videos, but yeah, this was the main gully outlet. And now it's a swale. I don't know if you can see it. Woo! It's very muddy. But you can see I've dug this little inlet to the gully. And what's happening is all this water, of course, there's a slope going down this way. You can see the flow. And what I really want to do is create some cross channel. So see if I can hold my umbrella with my head. So it's basically like creating like cross channel berms that divide up this big swale here. So that, you know, like I had created a connection point, but really I think what I want to do is take that out so that there's a pond, you know, well, a swale pool, you know, swale pool, swale pool, swale pool. I want to see what's going on the other side over here. The road sucks. The road already sucked. And now it really sucks. So over here, let's see how this is doing. So yeah, look at that. So that main block there is really holding back a lot of water that would have normally been lost down here. But then when it does make it down here, it's pooling just like I wanted. And then over here, we've got a lot of pooling that would have been lost off the property too. So quite a lot of water can be saved just with simple berms and swales. I should not be walking on my driveway right now. The rain's supposed to harden the work that I had done. But even these little inlets are catching water, just like I hoped. And then you've got like little, yeah, that's awesome. And there's like I try to do upslope of the trees. I try to do like a dip when I can, like a pit swale. And but yeah. This is really cool. This is our first really big rain. So it's a great time to observe and see how things are working and functioning. And this is just driveway construction mess. No rhyme, no reason with any of this. But over on the other side, or the pit swale, got a little swale around my orchard. So I've got a waterfall here. And as soon as I get my butt in gear to do more earthworks, I can pull some lateral pit swales and other things to get this water and hold it, because it's currently kind of in danger of being lost. I do have some capture mechanisms in place, and it is holding a lot. But so this is where another big channel is. The wind blows boxes and stuff around sometimes. I don't really necessarily have a big mechanism for saving this water except for at the bottom of the property yet. So, but this is a big flow. This is a really big flow. It's basically a desert river, an ephemeral creek in a way. So, and I bought the land because of this, because I looked at it in Google Earth and saw the pattern showing lots of water flowing across here. And I had almost bought to the north of me what I call the patch, which is a very green, year-round green space that is really just receiving all of the water from my property. So I knew that if I could save that water and hold it on my property, I would have a green space on my property. So the opportunity is huge. Oh yeah, look at that. Zombie Permaculture is the world's first real zombie apocalypse survival guide. It's the first book of its kind. It asks the most vital of questions. How thick will your mulch be when the hordes descend? This vital resource will expose humankind's true enemy, teach you how to fight with finesse, show you how to win the battle, and so much more. It will be the only guide you'll end up needing if you want to survive the real zombie apocalypse. I'm talking about the real one, happening right now, under your nose, and coming on stronger every day. In fact, the worst is yet to come. If you didn't know, it's time to get in the game. Your life depends on it, for real. Based on years of direct spiritual experience, including paranormal and psychic visitations, clairaudient messages, clairvoyant visions, and clairsentient physical experiences, a ton of research into subjects that corroborate my thesis, and so much more. This book is very powerful, but it's also going to scare the living daylights out of you. I'm not just saying that. It made me stop writing for a total of about 4 to 5 years, what I found. So please support me in this project by ordering a copy of my book. I think you're really going to like it. There is a problem over here, though, that not most, but a very significant amount is running off outside the pond. So I'm going to go right up there, and I'm going to do a berm that makes it go that way instead of that way. I'm running out of space on my phone, but I was able to shore up this whole side of my property and create, like basically water holding all the way down to the northwest corner. And I saved quite a lot of water. It's finally stopped raining, but you can kind of see some of the remnants of what I saved. And I just did it while it was running. So I'm going to show you a few other spots. I'm going to do a quick one, but the rain has stopped, and you can see that there's water still running, and I've shored up all that water that could have gone, that was running off my property. So now it's on mine. Yay. So my pit swales here in the big wash are holding water longer and letting it seep in deeper. I've found about a couple inches really of wet in this kind of a storm. So this is going to allow that to go much deeper in those particular little spots, and then a little bit downhill, so these shrubs should show some greening. Something else that is really, pretty profound is that when you have a desertified situation, this plant, for instance, is in a place where there's no water capture. In fact, its roots are being eroded away by the water just sheeting over land, because there's just no way to hold the water based on the state of the grade. And then you have over here, where there's a swale, you've got flowers, green leaves, and bees pollinating. Simple swales, simple shallow linear depressions in the ground, is the difference between non-productive, eroding, near death, and vibrant, flowering, contribution to the ecology, feeding bees in the desert. It's really, really just awesome.